I got Carolina and the Devils behind me. I don't know who won the NBA. All I know, I bet on Oklahoma City to cover the 13, Boston to cover the 13 plus minus 205, and I also took the Warriors tonight plus one minus 213. So those were my gambling picks in hockey. I took Hurricanes to win by more than two goals, or more than a goal and a half. And I took the underdogs for the later games. I took Ottawa to cover and Minnesota healthy to recover. All right, it's been a while since I've been up here. It feels good to be back, I tell you. We're going to do the Eastern Conference up here. And the Leafs, that is the thumbnail. That is the team in the front of it this evening. Uh, as Miss Molina will be going to the game tonight. Uh, the story about the Leafs is simple. Those four guys in that thumbnail, Taveras, Nylander, Marner, and Matthews, with that man in the middle as the head coach, Craig Berube. In my opinion, they're the best team in the East. Why? They got the best four players together in the Eastern Conference, and that says a lot for me. Uh, and I like Toronto won. The winner of the two Florida teams, 2 and 3, but the winner would be number two. Three will be the loser. Four the Caps, and five. I guess you got to put Carolina there. And as funny as that may sound, Carolina's favored in Vegas to win the cup. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know that suckers money, suckers bet. I don't know. But Carolina off to a good start today. Up 2-0 on the Devils late in the second period. That game is going fast. You want your playoff games to go quick. So that one is going fast, which is a good thing. Last night, Winnipeg, I didn't really see the game. I saw the beginning when the Jets were coming on the ice. What an electrical scene. Canadian teams do it best. If I had to rank the Canadian intros, you got to go Canucks 1, Canadians 1A, Leafs 3. Uh, I'm going to tell you right now, Flames and Ottawa 6 and 7. So those two teams are at the bottom. You can go Edmonton 4, and Edmonton rocks come playoff time, and then Winnipeg, what you saw last night, which gave you goosebumps if you are a hockey fan or sports fan. What a job by Mark Scheifele last night. I think Mark Scheifele is one of the most unappreciated players in the sport. And Scheifele put on the show late last night, him and Kyle Connor, and away we go with the Jets up 1-0 on St. Louis. I think it helps the Jets and the Blues that they've been playing each other lately. So they, game two could easily go to St. Louis tomorrow night. I wouldn't be surprised. But I will get to the team in the West who I feel better get up to nothing because if they don't, I think they are going to be in a lot of trouble. I'll get to that. I'll do the Western Conference also. I was supposed to do it earlier today. I feel so much good better now. Had some good rest last couple of days since I've been home on Thursday night. So I'm able to elaborate the right way to you good people. So I like Toronto in the East, Florida and Tampa 2 and 3, Washington 4, Carolina 5, Montreal 6. Now I know Montreal's not going to beat Washington, and Montreal has a special place in my heart. But God bless the Canadians, man. What a job! What a job by Martin St. Louis, Ken Hughes, and company up there, and their future is set for the next 7, 8 years. They got it going All the stars they need to pay is around their roster. They don't have to be worried about getting free agents to go. They're very good. Let me do Florida and Tampa. Now, I'm going to look at it differently than I have the last couple of weeks I've been talking about it. Maybe it's a good thing for the Florida Panthers to lose early in the playoffs this year. Look at the runs they had. President's Trophy in 2000 in 22, 2023 make it to the Cup Finals, AFC 2024 Stanley Cup champions, and now you're facing a team who's been dying to beat you for 1 year, and it's your biggest rival, and they're healthy. Tampa's loaded, folks. That's the one team that if they come out of the East, it would shock me. You know, Florida coming out of the East would surprise me because of the injuries, but it just goes to show you heart of a champion. But both of these teams, you could argue, the two best in the sport. But I think for some strange reason there's a lot of storylines here. You could have the Panthers as a repeat champion, Tampa Bay getting their championship back, Ovi going out with another championship. Ironically, them in Vegas look like they're on a strange, weird collision course again. And the team on this thumbnail, that's right, the team on this thumbnail, the Toronto Maple Leafs, could finally get back and maybe win the Stanley Cup for the first time since 1967. This team, to me, and I'm going to break down the other three. The Toronto Maple Leafs, to me, have something that the Tampa has it, Colorado has it. Let me see who else in the West. Maybe Winnipeg, if you want to put Kyle Connor with Shifley and Nikolai Ears. That's right there, folks, in that thumbnail, led by that man coaching, is a top big four in the sport. They could beat anybody, anytime, any place. Ask Edmonton what they did at with the ballyhooed Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I'll get to that. But this team is ready to get it done. They have a Stanley Cup coach. They got four superstars behind them. Marner, and as Miss Molina calls him, Johnny Toronto. That'll be Johnny Taveras for the rest of us. Contracts are up. I think it's the Leafs' time. If they do it, will it surprise me? No. If they don't do it, will it surprise me? No, because of the franchise's ineptitude and past failures. But right now, as this team is constituted, they're poised to bring them back, the Stanley Cup, back to Canada and back to Toronto. And that city will never be the same if the Leafs win the Stanley Cup. They will never be the same. I'll give them a 40% chance. The next two teams, I give a 25% chance. In Florida, matter of fact, I'll give Tampa a 30% chance, Florida a 20% chance because of injury. And everybody else get a piece of the other two Capitals get 9% and 9.5%, and Carolina gets 0.5%. Montreal is not ready yet. I'm not an idiot. Tampa, like I said, is loaded. They want to recapture their prize, and they have every opportunity to do it. It's going to be a tough road because you're going to play Florida first, then Toronto. And then I think you catch a break with the Caps. Then you get ready for whoever comes out of the West. Vasilevsky's played outstanding. Brendan Point is money. You know how great Kucherov is. I mean, this team is locked and loaded to get things done in the East, but they got to get past the Stanley Cup champions first. The team that took it away from them last year is their arch rival. Now you're going to get what everybody calls the rat line. Marchand, Bennett, and a healthy Tkachuk, who hasn't played since Four Nations. That's 2.5 months ago. Now he's healthy. Now they're ready for World War VI down in Tampa, and then they'll go to Sunrise from there. The Panthers speaks for itself. You know, Bobrovsky in goal. Okay, I gave you the rack line. Barkov is ready. This is a great team, folks, and we'll see. They begin Tuesday night, so these two teams basically get a week off, which is incredible. But like Ottawa and Toronto, these two teams will really kill each other. That's the beauty of the playoffs. You put rivalries up front first and see who is the survival of the fittest. That's why they play the games. Next, the Caps. What a story. What a storybook story. I remember back in July, I told Moss that the Capitals had the best off season of anybody. Everybody was talking about Nashville. Everybody was talking about this team and that team. Now, Caps did a good job. How ironic that the Cap Kings trade has worked out for both. Capitals, second best record in the league. I will put them cold President's Trophy with Winnipeg. Ovi's doing it. They found goaltending. The rookie coaches work magic. And they're going to have home ice throughout in the East. I keep looking at the Capitals as a fourth seed. They are the one seed in the East. What did I tell you? I think Toronto, Tampa, and Florida are better than them. It says a lot, doesn't it? I'm not even, bro. I keep thinking they're the fourth seed because I think they're the fourth best team, but they are the number one seed. Can they get to the finals? Yes. They have the personnel to get to the Stanley Cup finals. Will they get to the finals? I doubt. There's something about them that makes me pump the brakes. I don't know what it is. We should be celebrating, besides Ovi, how good this team has been all year long. But you look at the other three teams, Leafs, the two Florida teams are just better. Will the magic carpet ride continue? I don't know. You got to wait and find out. All of us together. Can they win it? Yeah, they can win the Eastern Conference. Will they win it? I don't know. I really don't know, man. I don't know. Something tells me pump the brakes. Carolina's Carolina. Nobody knows who they are. They're the faceless team that nobody cares about other than their fan base in the Carolinas. Um, they're a good team, but you wonder about them. This is why people are not all in on the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're winning today. And they are the favorite to win the Stanley Cup in Vegas, folks. Go to FanDuel. They're the favorite at plus 600 to bring home Lord Stanley to Raleigh Durham. Remember, Vegas knows more than we do. And they've loved the Hurricanes since, well, it was first was Edmonton, but everybody's getting off that Edmonton train. But you don't know. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this play the games and see what happens. That's why I take the wait and see approach on certain franchises. I just say, let me see them a little more. You didn't see me rush to jump on the Winnipeg Jet train, seeing them get to the Stanley Cup. No, I didn't jump on and say, yeah, I know the Jets from day one. No, I stuck with the Lanch since last July. I picked Lanch Tampa, and I'm glad I did. And I'm going to stick by that bet. So Carolina is still favored in Vegas plus 600. I wouldn't be so fast to put money on that though. Oh man. Which leads me to to me, there's two teams in the league this year, three teams that are a fun story to watch. This team I'm about to say is number one. I'll talk about number two before I get off the air this afternoon. And number three is who I'm going to talk about next when I do the Western Conference. I'll begin with that series, which leads me to the Lee Habitants. How crazy is that city going to be Friday evening when everybody gets off work for game three? We'll do game three Friday night. This is our schedule. Canadians Capitals tomorrow and Wednesday. Kings Oilers tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday, the NFL draft. Friday, games three. Both road teams go home. What a scene in both cities. Unless the Dolphins make a trade for a third rounder. Now, Moss told me yesterday that Greer May is not don't have a problem moving down, get a third rounder. Chris, get a goddamn third rounder, please. Okay? If he does that, I'm on Friday night. We'll pick up the draft. I'll do the hockey in progress. Okay. Saturday, Dolphins got 8 picks. I'm on all morning, afternoon, and I forgot what was the Saturday night game. Which is a good one. I think it's Montreal. Excuse me. I think it's maybe Toronto in Ottawa for game four. I know Toronto, Ottawa, game three is Thursday night in Canada. I'll be doing the NFL draft. I may do that intro early because, like I said, I'm not doing round picks 1 through 9. I don't care for it. I don't care for the teams. I really don't care. The Canadians, the league is at its best when the greatest franchise on the planet is good again. Okay? They are the world, folks. I hate to disappoint you. When the Canadians are good, they're on point, the whole planet stops and watches God's franchise. And now, slowly but surely, led by the great Nicholas Suzuki, Colin Caulfield, of course, the coaching of Martin St. Louis, and the brains of Ken Hughes, and now the addition of rookies Lane Hudson. That's right, they're electrifying Lane Hudson and the new sensation who's going up against his hero tomorrow night. We'll be profiling that tomorrow night, and that will be the thumbnail tomorrow night, by the way. Ivan Demidov. The Canadians have arrived, folks, and Like I said, you better in the Eastern Conference, you better get your championships now. Because beginning next year, the world will be back in order where it belongs in Montreal. I'm planning on being there next spring for the playoffs. God bless for health. But the Canadians are a year away. Let's enjoy, even if they get swept, at least they're getting playoff experience. The sorry ass team I'll talk about later on. I was watching their exit bullshit yesterday that put me completely to sleep. I'll get on that team later. Let's do the Western Conference. We're gonna start with a series that starts tomorrow night, but I really believe that this team better win both games at home, and that is Kings Whalers, one of the great rivalries and the biggest trade in sports history. Back in 1988, where were you? August 19th, 1988. You know what that day was? The day the earth stood still. Wayne Gretzky, Kruzelinski, McSorley, all going to LA for Jelena and Jimmy Carson. And $15 million, which was a lot of money 37 years ago, kids. It was a lot of money. That was the trade. Mike Kuchelinski, Marty McSorley, and Gretzky all going to Hollywood for Carson, Jonas, and I forgot the third plane. I should know who it is. He'll come back. And the NHL was never the same. You know why? This is something that Moss doesn't like me to say. Wayne Gretzky had a plan to make hockey even more popular. And it took 35 years, but it's finally worked in the United States. Hockey is killing the NBA. The NBA sucks ass. Because we all know the NBA is coerced. They're fans of the most idiotic sports fans in the world, the NBA. Unless you root for your team. Like, if you live in Toronto, you're a Raptors fan, you're good. You in New York, you root for the Knicks fan, you're good. The problem with the NBA is they have too many casual fans who root for the names on the back of the jerseys. This is why the inmates run the asylum in the NBA. While hockey, you got everything. You got speed, you got power, you got fighting, you got scoring. And most of the teams that make the playoffs have superstars on their teams. And it's great to see that Gary Bettman and Wayne Gretzky's vision is being played out. Ever since 1993, every Stanley Cup has went to the United States, especially the Sun Belt part of the United States. NHL has been blessed the last 32 years. Montreal's got a cup. Rangers got a cup. The big markets, Chicago had a dynasty in the 2010s. So did the Kings. Had a mini dynasty, 2010s. They won 5 championships combined. Tampa Bay has won 3 cups. The Panthers have just joined the parade. They've been to 3 cup finals. The Avalanche have been to 3 cup finals and won all three of them. Anaheim has won a Stanley Cup. San Jose has been to the Cup. Isn't this something? Dallas has won a cup. Boston broke their streak 14 years ago. And salute to the Bruins, by the way. 16 years of excellence. and brilliance on the ice. Congrats to the players, congrats to their fan base, and to Don Sweeney, Cam Neely, everybody in the Boston organization. What a job they've done the last 16 years. I think you people get my point now. John Jansen's in the room. What's up, John? Manzano's in here. The Kraken have made it to the Stanley Cup. No, the Kraken's only been in the league 3 years. What are you talking about? Come on, Tony. Only been in the league 3 years. Montreal has a way to go. No, they don't. Montreal's arrived, Tony. I hate to tell you this. They're going to be a juggernaut next year. Sorry to tell you that. Montreal's going to be a juggernaut. John Jansen lost a tough one yesterday. Happy Easter to everybody. So Gretzky was trying to do what Lionel Messi is doing now for the MLS and soccer. I guess so, but Gretzky accomplished it. That's the difference. Gretzky has accomplished it. Bro, you got Elliot Freeman right now. They are so scared up in Canada that with the salary cap going up, they know the Sunbelt teams are going to get the next group of free agent stars beginning next year. Tony, if you're in here, come up. So, let me get back to Edmonton, LA real quick. I think it's very important the Kings go up 2-0. I think listening to the Oilers today, they are playing possum. They know they can beat this team. They feel it in their bones. They can whip this team. I'm talking about the Kings. I think the Oilers believe they're going to beat them no matter what. And it could easily happen.
I agree with you on Mace that I believe the teams that are going to get affected the most are the Canadian teams, Boston, New York,
Yep.
and LA.
Yes. It's going to hurt those teams bad. And Elliot Freeman's going to come up with some idea
Excuse.
to help the big markets. It ain't going to work.
Who do you like? Have they already has Bettman? When does Bettman retire?
I think once he sees his vision of hockey being like other sports, probably another 2 years, I think, because the salary cap is going to explode beginning, not this year. It's going up this year, but next year is where you begin to see the shift in power.
Can in your honest opinion, do you think an NHL team can be successful in New Orleans?
No, they don't have corporate backing. You have to have Fortune 500 companies.
Is that why he's trying to, because of the corporate backing, that's why he's trying to go back into Atlanta?
Yes, and Houston and Arizona, where the players like it, owners like it.
How about San Antonio or Austin?
Yeah. Austin's a possibility, I heard. They're thinking about it.
Another team in California, San Diego, maybe?
Nah, they got California covered with the Sharks. Ducks.
But that the San Diego team, the reason why I'm saying San Diego would make sense is because they're actually close enough. They're further away from most of those cities and stuff like that to where they're not going to infringe on another fan base.
I don't think Bettman looks at it that way. I think the NHL looks at it as who has the money. Like, let's say the Houston guy. He's going to get a team, the Houston guy.
You said Austin might make sense?
Austin would make sense, but the Houston guy got the money, though.
Yeah.
The Houston guy, they're going to give him a team because they're already ready to build a brand new arena just in time when the team is ready to start. He is willing to give the NHL $3 billion like it's nothing, and the NHL loves money.
Yeah, and which to me, which surprises me, why I brought up, is San Antonio close enough to Dallas to where Dallas fans, San Antonio might have an issue of building their own fan base because of the fact that they don't the Dallas a lot of Dallas people, uh, a lot of the fans in San Antonio are Dallas Stars fans.
No, I think people in San Antonio don't care. They got the Spurs.
I,
They like football in San Antonio, not hockey.
ha, ha, I've always wondered how Dallas is a football town. How did a team like before they won the Stanley Cups with Madonna? How did that they get a team like that?
Because the team was young, up and coming, and the obvious answer, Tony, they had a young American superstar in Madonna.
If Do you think Madonna would have done well in a place like LA or New York if he didn't
Of
stay in
course,
Dallas?
of course.
So he's like
Detroit, I
Gretzky.
don't know. Detroit, I don't know because that's his hometown. I don't know if he would have did well in Detroit with Scotty Bowman.
Oh, he's from Detroit. He's from Michigan.
Yeah, he's from Detroit. Yeah, Mike Madonna. It's American. Detroit.
Honestly, a guy like what Eichel's from the New York area, right?
Who?
Jack Eichel, is he?
Eichel's from Boston.
I can't remember. There's a superstar in a super like a young great American that's from like the city of New York, like New York, like Long Island or something like that. I can't remember who it
Oh,
is.
the Flames got who's going to play for Team USA now in the World Tournament. Matt Coronado. He's from Long Island.
Oh, Coronado.
Yeah, he had
I
25
thought
goals this year.
aren't the aren't wait are the Gaudreau brothers from Boston?
No, they're from Jersey.
Oh,
They're
so they're
from South Jersey. Mike Trout. They're from where Mike Trout's from.
oh
Polk,
so
Colquitt.
they're from that the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, Delaware Valley. Yeah, they're more Philadelphia. They're not New York.
See,
South Side.
those guys honestly would have been Philadelphia. I'm surprised. To me, either of those guys didn't play for Philly for a
He
little bit.
wanted to go to Philly, but Philly didn't make an offer.
Oh, Johnny Hockey wanted to go to Philly.
Yeah, be home with his family. Yeah, he's a family guy. He was. God bless.
Yeah, honestly, if Tampa and Florida win another championship, I think Gary Bettman proved that Sunbelt teams are successful.
He's already proved it. And not only is that scary for the big market teams, it makes Tampa and Florida.
Attractable for free
No, I'm gonna
agents.
go a little, I'm gonna do a little different. It's gonna make Florida into a generational type of franchise. They're gonna be grandfathered in with the NHL greats. Like the Devils are there right now because they won 3 cups in 8 years.
And the original six don't like that.
No, not at all. Especially the Rangers. No.
Yeah, the Rangers didn't the Rangers get destroyed by both the Panthers and the Lightning
Yeah.
in the playoffs?
Yeah.
What
No.
what is wrong with the Rangers? Like, have they not drafted well?
Like the Dolphins, they like certain players.
Delusional
No, they like certain players.
character.
Yeah, and also, like I tried to tell you 2 weeks ago when I last spoke to you, no one really cares about them in New York. And their fans are from 5 generations of immigrant Italian and Irish. Look at
Yeah.
the NHL. You know what's funny about it? Look at
Yeah.
this. The original six, look at their fan bases. And I didn't realize this until me and you had that talk 2 weeks ago. They're all immigrant fans from the
Oh,
1920s. Maple
yeah.
Leafs, Red Wings, Bruins, Rangers, Blackhawks. They're all Montreal. They're all from European backgrounds, immigrants.
Yeah, like
Italian,
Irish,
French.
German, Italian,
Yep, exactly. Polish. Yeah,
and on. Have you ever like as a hockey fan that lives around that area? Have you
yeah.
ever tried to have a conversation with Rangers fans, or you can't stand them to the
No,
point
I
where
don't hate Ranger fan at all. I just know their mentality from going to a lot of Ranger games back in the early 2000s.
would you say the fan base is very? I don't want to bring race into it. Are they very racist?
Yes, the only team that exists to them, and this is sad, is the Rangers. At least the Islanders know the Jets are there. That's their football team. A lot of them out in Long Island because the Jets used to be out there. And the Devils, they probably their fans know that there's other teams out here. Ranger fans don't. I think the only other team Ranger fans would root for in New York would be the Yankees because that's again immigrant.
Italian American.
Exactly, is their background for fans. Yeah,
And are Yankees fans as bad as Rangers fans when it comes to
used to
that?
be,
Where
used to be, used to be. When I was a kid, yeah, that's why I never rooted for the Yankees. That was one of the main reasons. It used to be like that. Yeah.
every every time the first thing I think about every time we talk about the Yankees is the whole Montreal incident when they were paying attention to the playoffs.
Yeah, they hate when guys like. I always tease Yankee fans. Where would you be without Derek Jeter, Tino Martinez, Mariano? You'll be so way behind the Canadians. It'd be scary.
Yeah, no, and I understand what you're saying that you don't think Montreal is too far behind. What I mean is there's certain parts of their team that are very like their goalie. Do you do you agree with me? Their
He's
goalie suspect a little bit.
their goalie is coming next year.
Is their defense has their defense improved, or do you think that's suspect still?
They're coming. They're coming in September.
And Demidov just came, right?
Yep, playing tomorrow against Ovi. I'll be doing that game up here tomorrow night. Yep,
That's a young kid. I think might be able to replace Ovi. I think he plays the same way.
does. Demidov is scary. He's not as big as Ovechkin. Though. Ovechkin is a 6'4", 240.
Is
Tony. He's a
Demidov around the
linebacker.
same size as Fedorov?
Yeah, and that's his guy.
Oh, Demidov is.
He played for Fedorov's team in Russia.
CSK Moscow.
Yeah, Fedorov owns that team now.
Who's in your honest opinion, is there a Finnish player that you think is the closest thing to Teemu Solani?
Oh, I don't know, man. I gotta check that out. I gotta see who's finished and who's real good right now.
I've all uh, there's Barkov.
Yeah, I know
There's
you love
Patrick
ball.
Laine.
Lane
There's
could have been, but Lane got too many issues upstairs, man.
there's a mental issue with him. My God. Uh, Thomas Hurdle.
Is he on the
He
Vegas?
used to be with the San Jose.
Yeah, he's in Vegas now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Uh,
Hurdle's a good one.
wait, is Kopitar Finnish?
Lati, Lati. He's from the same place as Doncic.
Oh, Doncic.
Yeah, he's from him and Doncic. Yeah, Doncic is living at his house in L.A.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. You talk about underrated superstar, just as good of a career as Ovi and Sidney Crosby. No joke. Andre Kopitar. No
Did he
one
come
talks about
before them, or was he drafted the
it. Same
same year?
time. He was in the Crosby draft. He was the 11th pick.
Yeah, and also I think he gets overshadowed a little bit in LA because of Drew Doughty
I
too.
agree. I agree.
Do you think Doughty's a first ballot guy?
Both of them are. Both of them. And Jonathan Quick. All three of them.
There was a guy on that. Alex. No, not. Oh my God. He was on the. He was
I
always on.
know.
He
Which
was on the
guy?
same line with Onze all the time. He was the one scoring all the goals. Not Tyler Toffoli. Alex something.
I know
His
who you're
name
talking about. I know who you're talking
Rodriguez or something like that.
Yeah. He was clutch. Won the Stanley Cup for him against the Rangers.
And this is where I've always said when Kopitar. This is why in my honest opinion, I understand why Moss says Bergeron. I always see Kopitar. I see Kopitar in Barkov too.
You could say that.
He's the same exact player, almost. Do you
This
have a
guy wins
comparison
another
that you have
ring.
for Sam Bennett?
Say again?
Sam Bennett, who when you look at, or no, Sam Reinhart. Like, is there a guy you watched growing up or in the NHL in the '90s that when you look at Bennett, he's almost, well, not a carbon copy, but close enough?
I don't know. I gotta look deeper because when we had Bennett in Calgary, um, he's not the same player you're looking at today.
Oh no, Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, Reinhardt had him in Calgary too. Yeah.
What is wrong with Calgary in losing their superstars? First they lost Goudreau, then Reinhart, then Bennett, then Tkachuk.
Players don't want to play there, Tony. You want to know why?
It's too far
Because
out.
no, it's because players like their space. They don't want people when they go out on the town, everybody staring at them. You got guys who are jealous of them because they're multimillionaires and want to jump them. These things are
And
real.
girls want to be with them too.
Exactly. All that stuff is real. That's not made up stuff.
Yeah,
What's up,
and this is
Mark?
why I'm saying, and I've been saying this. This is why I feel that a guy like Matthews leaves, honestly, to a team like Utah because he doesn't want to have the Canadian media or people on. He seems very standoffish.
Yes, I
Austin,
agree with that. I agree.
he's not a douchebag like Eichel, but he is that a right way to describe Jack?
You tell the truth. I mean, he's Boston. Everything you see in Jack Eichel, that's how Boston people are. That's Jack Eichel. Yep, you're right.
Madonna, honestly, Madonna was very humble, to be honest. Or am
Yeah.
I thinking of the wrong person?
No, you're right.
Do people underestimate how big he actually was?
I think so.
Because the way, like, when I see highlights of Madonna, he
Yeah.
doesn't play like a big player. When you look at him, he plays like he he plays sort of like Connor McDavid and stuff like that in a sense where they're they play with more finesse than their actual size dictates. Do you agree?
Definitely. Man, McDavid's not a big guy at all. Moss said he bumped into him in England at an Arsenal game. He said he was small, and Moss is like 6'2". So
No, McDavid's like 6'2", I think 190 or something like that.
yeah, something like that.
He's very he's tall, but he's very like how do you? He's very skin like he's a string bean basically.
Yep, you could say that. You're right. I agree with that. Not gonna get an
When you
argument.
look at McDavid, like in terms of, is there a player not the superstardom, like is there a player that you can compare him to in another sport?
David, uh, Russell Wilson.
Russell, really?
Russell's not as big as he looks. No, he's only 5'10".
No, I'm talking about in terms of like play, like his personality and playing style.
Personality.
Because
Who McDavid? Who would
because
be
let's be honest, you know me and you agree on this. Connor has an ego.
who would be uh like in another sport? Conor McDavid? Uh,
Tyreek Hill.
no, no way.
He's not that like
Oh, okay,
outlandish.
I got the play. I got the play. I should it just bounced off my head. Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Mahomes.
Yeah.
I read somewhere Mahomes actually played hockey too. Like he played football, hockey, and baseball.
Well, I know he played baseball because of his dad.
No, like it was like not like in high school, but he played uh junior hockey for a little bit as like a 10-year-old.
Oh, I don't know. I never heard that one, man.
When does the series with the Panthers and the Lightning start?
Tuesday night, Tony, and that is
Do
going to be
we
a good.
are they coming down to Sunrise or do we go up to Tampa?
You go to Tampa.
That's honestly, this is where I don't like how the NHL sets up their playoffs. To be honest, I would rather see that playoff series in the second round than in the first.
This is what Gary Bettman wants.
Who would have like if it was set up to where would Miami go against Toronto? Who would Tampa go against?
Who would Tampa go against?
Yeah, would Miami go? Would Florida go against Toronto, or would it be Tampa going facing Toronto?
If it was set up which way?
Like how how it originally was set up before Bettman changed it.
Oh, they would be different. It would be in the division, so it would be Tampa versus. It would be Toronto versus Ottawa.
Okay,
Florida versus Tampa.
so it would still be the same way
It'll
almost.
be the same way, yeah.
I thought there was a time where no, I'm talking about the seeding. I thought originally it was always three faced three faced six and two faced five.
No, it was only 14. It was in the playoffs back in the day was in division.
Oh, it was the top three teams in the top
No,
four
no, no,
teams.
no, no, Tony. One versus four, which if it's today, it would be the same exact way in the Atlantic Division. It
Okay.
will be Toronto versus Ottawa, Florida versus Tampa.
It's out of place. So almost Washington would be out of place because they're not basically
Washington would play Montreal, and the Devils will play who they're playing, Carolina.
Carolina. Honestly, they're not really a playoff team to me. Do you agree, or am I being harsh?
I don't know. They've been in the playoffs 9 straight years, Tony. See, you're tired of them because they never do anything.
Yeah, exactly. They made it to the Stanley Cup with
They made it twice. They won one, they lost one.
yeah, was their former coach on both teams, or was he gone by the time the second team made it?
He was gone. The first coach was Paul Maurice.
No, I'm talking. No, I'm talking about the guy who played for Carolina.
Like wait,
Ken.
Brindamore? Brindamore?
Yeah, Brindamore.
He was the captain of their only Stanley Cup team. Yeah.
Was he? But was he on both teams, or was he gone by the time the second team made
He
it
was
to?
on both teams.
Who did they beat to win that Stanley Cup?
The Oilers.
The Oilers,
Yeah, 7 games.
and they lost to Dallas or
The
Detroit or something.
who? Carolina?
Yeah, did they lose to Detroit or someone?
No, they beat I think they beat Detroit that year, I think.
Do you like how the set stand like the the seating is for the N.H.L?
Yeah, I like it. Because it doesn't matter if they change. You're gonna get the same. See, here's the bottom line. You want to escape the big teams, finish first in your division, you don't have to play them.
Yeah, but Tampa won didn't Tampa win the Toronto win the division?
Yeah, and that's why Tampa Bay is playing Florida.
Was the with did the settings did the seating like were the point was there a huge point differential between all three teams when the season finished, or was it like was
Yeah,
it actually pretty close?
Tampa was close.
Florida was way behind.
Yeah,
I think the Florida Tampa series goes seven games.
I can see that, Tony. It could go either way too, by the way. That series can go either way.
What team do you think like? What team do you feel is like Montreal that you feel is pretty close to like that's full of young players? You think Calgary,
No, Anaheim.
Anaheim?
Yeah, and Utah.
I was gonna say maybe San Jose.
Nah, they got ways to go.
Ways to
Anaheim is ready. That's why they fired their coach yesterday.
LA. Honestly, LA made the playoffs maybe sooner than they expected. You think?
I don't know. I think with the LA Kings, uh, I think the Kings are ready, Tony. I think I've been saying it all year long. Those guys know how to win. That's what makes those guys unique. They know how to win, Tony. Those two guys, Kopitar and Dowdy, they got 2 championships. They stopped the Blackhawks twice in the playoffs to win their Stanley Cups.
Is that why you see these young players in LA developing quicker than they expected? Like
Exactly.
Byfield and that there were defensemen that they drafted
Kempe, yeah, yeah, you got it right. Yeah, you're right. That's it.
because Dowdy's teaching this kid how to be a champion. I forgot who that defenseman they drafted. Was it Owen? Was it Brent
Oh,
Clark?
yep, that's him. Yep,
Would you say he's a defenseman?
yeah, that's the way they like him in LA.
But Drew Doughty's both ways though.
It depends.
When I look at him, he remind Brent Clark. He reminds me of Burns.
That's a nice comparison.
Brent Burns.
He's very underrated, man. Brett
Brent
Burns has
Burns.
had a hell of a career. Just that he's never won.
Can you blame him for not winning though?
No, he had his chances.
They had a
Those
good. Was
they,
that Artiniemi?
no. I forgot. They had good goalies too.
Was it Kari Lettinen?
Nah. Barkov was there. Who else was there? Smith was there. He was good.
Oh, Greg Smith.
I think so. Yeah, he was good for them.
There was another. I think it was a Finnish. Was the guy who did the guy you hate that played for Tampa start with
Holly Bullen.
Yeah, did he start with San Jose?
Yes.
Why?
San
Why?
Jose always had good goalies. They got another good one right now. You just don't know about him, Tony, because the team is losing.
Why do you hate Javi Bullen so much?
Why do I hate Holly Bullen?
Yes.
Because he got lucky against the Flames in the Stanley Cup Finals. He got very lucky. And
Did
I'm
your
glad.
goalie blow it or something? Or
Yes, very controversial goal.
when did Carey Price? Was Carey Price on the team back then?
The Canadians?
Yeah, was Carey Price the goalie against Javi Bullen?
No, you're talking two different teams. Montreal didn't play Calgary for the Cup. It was Tampa. Carey Price played against Vasilevsky a couple years ago. Yeah.
Are you a Vasilevsky fan?
Yeah, he's great. Vasilevsky's great.
A guy like when you look at a guy like what's his name? Van Beesbrook.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a goalie far ahead of his time the way he played?
Nah,
Like,
but he
do you
was
think he
damn
would have
good. I
he would have
think
been more successful in this era instead of the era he was in?
Mike Keenan really did a number on him, man.
You like Beezer though?
Yeah, I did.
Did Mike Keenan tear him to him or something? What happened?
Yeah, he kicked him out the door.
And that screwed
Everything. But I was glad he won in Florida. We were all happy he won in Florida.
Was he like? Was he all like? I know. My God, the guy who's the announcer for the N.H.L. network, was he on the same team as Beezer? Weeks?
No, Weeks was
Oh,
with my man. What's his face?
uh,
Lundqvist.
Bobby Lou
He's with Lundqvist.
Henry. Oh,
Yeah,
I thought he was down in Florida too.
he was everywhere.
Was
But his
Ken Weeks
claim
one of
to
these
fame,
like great backup goalies?
yeah, he was alright as a backup. His claim to fame is he took Carolina to the Stanley Cup and they lost to Detroit.
What's your opinion on Ken Dryden
One of the all-time greats. Matter of fact, I would say he's one of the goats.
at goalie?
Definitely.
Like what style? Like was he like a hybrid goalie or was he more butterfly?
Butterfly.
He was in a he was aggressive or conservative.
Aggressive.
So he's like what you see with like the style play he does is sort of like I know you don't like him that much, but is he like Bobrovsky where Bobrovsky's always at the top of the goal crease, basically?
Nah, he was more like Connor Hellebuck.
Oh, Connor Hellebuck?
Yeah, he was like Hellebuck.
Who was that great goalie for those Dallas teams with Madonna?
Well, they had a couple, but the one that won them the cup was my man Ed Belfour.
Oh, Eddie the Eagle.
Yeah.
Would you say he's the greatest American goalie?
Belfour's from Canada. He's not from the United States.
Eddie? Wait,
Yeah.
Eddie? I've
Yeah.
always assumed he was American.
No, Eddie's Canadian. Tony.
Jonathan Quick. Is Jonathan Quick behind Timmy Thomas?
No, I think he's ahead of Tim Thomas.
That's another guy that gets overlooked a little bit. Tim Thomas.
Yeah, because he was 34 years old when he won the cup.
And was Tim always getting? Did he have injury issues throughout his career too?
No, he came up. He was a late bloomer, Tony.
Like
Nice
most
story
goalies
about
are.
him. No, like he didn't play in the league that long. The Bruins found him on the scrap heap.
So basically, he was almost like what you see, like a undrafted free agent, almost kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, my favorite Boston goalie is Tuca.
Yeah, I like Tuca myself.
Honestly, I feel bad for Tuca a little bit. It feels like he's gonna be forgotten as one of the great goalies in NHL history.
You know what the problem with Tuca is?
Never won.
Exactly. And there was some damn good Bruin teams the last 16 years. So,
Now Boston has Swayman.
yeah, I don't know about Swayman. I wonder about him.
is he like? Is he? Is Swayman like the guy in Toronto that you don't know how to feel about him?
Well, I like both Toronto's goalies right now. I think Stolarz was a steal by the
Yeah,
Maple Leafs.
we let him go. That was dumb
I
on
think
our
the
part.
other guy is now the new leader of the Chicago Blackhawks. The other kid you let go.
Oh, Spencer Knight.
Yeah.
I think Florida does. That's the one position I don't think Florida knows how to develop well, the goalie position. But I think, like you said, they can bring a superstar goalie down here if they want to.
Of course. When you got the money like that, you can do whatever. Yeah.
Are there any superstar goalies coming out in the next few years in free
Uh,
agency?
I don't know about free agency because goalies are not good anymore
Huh?
like they used to be.
They're not as valuable as they used to be.
No. All you have to do is look at Carolina.
I can't. They had a good goalie there in Carolina when they won the Stanley Cup, right?
Cam Ward, he was all right. He was all right. He wasn't bad. He wasn't great. He was okay.
See, and it's crazy with New York, the Rangers and stuff like that. They had great goalies and they haven't won anything. They had Henrik Lundqvist,
Yep.
and now they had that young Russian kid too,
Suzuki, nothing.
Shesterkin. Yeah,
They had Mike Richter, to me, who was very overrated. I'll tell you right now, B's book was better than Richter. Just like,
I'm predicting Shesterkin demands a trade.
I don't know, he just signed for 11.5 million, Tony.
Yeah, but eventually he's gonna get tired of not winning anything.
Well, we're going to find out early July what does Connor McDavid do. Because if Connor McDavid let's say Kings beat Edmonton. All right, Carolina is going to beat the Devils 4-1.
Yeah, I agree
Because
with you. I think Toronto. If if Connor Lee loses to LA, he leaves.
I don't think he signs an extension this summer.
He goes into free agency.
Yeah, next summer that will be crazy, man. It's like I said, my prediction: Vegas 1, Rangers 2,
Tampa.
Tampa 3, Florida 4, Boston 5,
But
Philly
you
6.
said he hates Florida and he wouldn't want to play with them.
I don't think he would. No, I think he has pride. No, I think he would rather go. He's going to go somewhere where for him he has the best chance to win. He's going to get paid. He's just been
How about
married.
LA?
Maybe he may follow Gretzky's footsteps.
I was there. Does Dallas have enough money to sign Connor?
Of course, the Dallas.
They're like the cow. The Stars are like the Cowboys. They can find money where.
Yeah, they can find money.
Would he
Never, I
go to
mean,
Chicago?
it's gonna be
To
tough.
try to help them win a championship like
It's gonna be tough, bro. That's
or
gonna be
Utah?
tough. No, I don't see Connor in Salt Lake City. No, that's not him. That's more Austin Matthews.
How about Buffalo?
No,
Islanders?
no.
Uh, Philly?
Yes.
I was gonna say I was gonna say Pittsburgh, but he hates
No.
Crosby.
No, he doesn't hate Crosby. Pittsburgh can't afford him, man.
How about Detroit?
Yes.
The only Florida team that would make sense is Tampa because, like you said, he wouldn't want to be with Bar. Do you think him and Barkov would actually work together?
No.
Well,
No.
Florida would have to trade Barkov in order to
And him
get.
and this guy hate each
Oh,
other. Him
Kachuk.
and, him
Him
and
and
Tkachuk
Kachuk.
from the Flames Oiler days.
If you're a superstar like if you're star players like that, if you know you're going to win a Stanley Cup, wouldn't you put your hatred aside to to benefit both the team as a whole?
Yeah, and Melina, enjoy the Leafs game, baby. Have a good time. Melina's going to the Leafs game.
How about Connor to Toronto?
No, no, he ain't going there. He ain't stupid. He is not playing in that atmosphere. But who knows? I got them winning the East, believe it or not, this year.
When they bring in Atlanta as another, like,
Never, never, never.
or Phoenix.
Maybe Arizona. Maybe.
Oh,
Like that.
actually, I have on not LA. How about the other team that you said is showing a lot of promise? Was it San Jose
Anaheim?
or
Anaheim?
Anaheim?
Oh, nah, I don't see Connor going there. Nah, I think it's like I said, the three throwing Vegas. I got Vegas. I think he'll go to Vegas.
Would he? Is he? This is an honest question. Does his personality fit in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle?
Nah, no one's going there, Tony.
Huh?
No one's going to Seattle.
The Kraken.
It's just that there's something missing there, Tony. They don't do things right, but they claim, and people are claiming that their draft picks that they've made the last couple of years are beginning to come up slowly. The reason why they don't get the hype is because it's Seattle. They have no history.
Oh, when do you expect the Houston team to come?
Probably 2028.
Does Connor become a free agent in 2026 or 2027?
26.
Yeah, Tampa with I think John Cooper's style fits him the best. To be honest.
Vegas, I think, also because of lifestyle, and he's married. That's the thing. He's been married for like almost a year. He's been with his wife for the last what 15 years.
But with the Eichel has an ego. You really think he's gonna want
They're
another
gonna
super?
Tony. They're gonna take care of Eichel, and if they win this year, they're gonna pay Eichel. Eichel got nothing to worry about. Remember, just like with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, LeBron went to Dwayne Wade's team. Dwayne Wade didn't go to LeBron James' team.
Yeah, and people forget that.
It's not LeBron County.
It's Wade County.
There you go. And LeBron hasn't put on a Heat uniform in 11 years. Can
Yeah,
you
and
believe that? 11 years ago, he went back to Cleveland. What did that tell you about the 4 years? And everybody forgets the 4 years he went to Miami. What did that tell you?
yeah,
They didn't do what they were supposed to do. So, all right, Carolina's going to win Leafs. Melina's on her way to um, Social Bank to go see her Leafs play. That game starts in about 2 hours from now. So, Florida, Tampa on Tuesday night. That series can go either way. I have no rooting interest. I'm just glad Florida is going to be healthy. So, let me see something before I get out of here. Tony, you ready for Thursday night? All right, Tony's on hold. Oh, what the hell I'm doing? See if Tony's still there. I'm getting ready to get out of here, folks. Appreciate you coming. Be back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Canadians and Capitals, and then Oilers Kings. Oh, let me see something. 305 will be back with me tomorrow. So let me hop out of here. Appreciate you guys pulling up. And I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern. Good day from the Oasis. Thank you, people in the clouds. And thank you for the 6 cash apps I received this afternoon. Appreciate you all. Good day from the Oasis, everybody. Have a great Sunday and Easter Sunday to everybody. One more thing. I was in the hospital 2 weeks ago. Could have happened 2 weeks ago today. Unfortunately, I grew up in the Bronx, so I had a lot of Latinos in my community. When I was a grown man, I lived in Washington Heights over in Isham Place in the Dykeman area. And I just want to say my heart and prayers to all the people that was lost in that tragedy 2 weeks ago down at the nightclub in the Dominican Republic. And my prayers go to everybody and to the baseball players that we lost in that concert, like Octavio Dotel and these guys. I'll get the names who we lost, and I'll give them a tribute uh, this week. So my prayers and my love and support go to the Dominican Republic, all those families and friends who lost loved ones in that tragedy. Good night from the Oasis, everybody. Glad I got that in.